morning. I'm happy to be here. I want to read just a short little verse from St. Augustine to begin my talk. Men go forth to wonder at the heights of mountains, the huge waves of the sea, the broad flow of the waters, the vast courses of the stars, and they pass themselves without wondering. We are the greatest creation on earth, and we don't even realize it. We doubt ourselves. We look at everyone else. We think everyone else is smarter, more attractive, more intelligent. They have more going for them. You have been given everything you need inside of you to have the life that you dream about. We all have gifts that have been given to us, and we don't even seem to notice. We're so busy listening to the mindless chatter of everyone else around us. We're so busy trying to become better people and change our lives. You don't need to change your lives. We just need to remember who we are in our souls and become that person again, because we're everything. That magic pill that you've been looking for all your life, it's already in you. You have it. You are the miracle. I had the opportunity to be a featured author at the Louise Hay I Can Do It conference in Denver, Colorado. And it was really nice, and I really enjoyed it. But when people came up to buy the book, it was kind of a little bit disheartening, because my book is not an international bestseller yet. Heck, I didn't even write the book. It was written totally through automatic writing. I can't plagiarize Spirit and say that I wrote the book. But people were coming up to me, and they wanted to touch my hand, and, oh my gosh, you wrote a book. Oh, that's amazing. How did you do it? I've always wanted to write a book. And it's just, they're totally capable of writing a book. Anybody can write a book. If you have that desire in your heart, you can do it. And it just, I don't know, for some reason it struck me that we always look up to somebody else, and we don't look in the mirror and look at ourselves and realize what amazing human beings we are. I was born and raised in Colorado, and I never intended to move. I was going to spend my last days there, but Spirit had different plans for me. And sometimes we're not really open to those plans. Spirit sees the big picture. We see everything through blinders, and we think we have all the answers, but we don't. But Almighty God, Spirit, knows everything and knows what's best for you and knows what you need and wants to give you the desires of your heart and give you everything. I've always thought what makes God great isn't the miracles that are performed, because obviously it's Almighty God. You expect that. What makes God so wonderful and so amazing is that Spirit takes the time to come down and answer your tiniest little dream and request. The Spirit takes time to come down and just help wipe the tear from your eye. That's what makes, I think, Spirit so great. Every single one of us is important to Spirit. If you think about it, if you really think about it, the chances of you being alive at this moment in time are so small. I think it's 1 in 400 trillion or something like that. I mean, if you look at all the pestilence, the wars, the plagues, the wild animals that sought to destroy us, and yet you're here. And you're here for a reason. You have a purpose. And you need to fulfill your purpose. It's really important that you fulfill your purpose. When I lived in Colorado, when I first moved to I lived in a small ranch in Colorado. There were some neighbors who lived cat-a-corner to us, and they had 2 little girls, ages 2 and 4, I think, the most adorable little girls. But their dad had spent an entire weekend putting up a trampoline for them. He'd cemented the posts in because we get really high winds in Colorado. We even get tornadoes sometimes. And one day we had an early spring storm, and the wind was blowing. It was lightning and thundering. It was a really bad storm. And I heard this huge crash. So I ran downstairs and went out through the basement and thought our roof had caved in or something. And the little girl's trampoline had blown and smashed against our house. It was just smashed into pieces. I went back upstairs, and I looked out the kitchen window, and there are these two little girls. One's just in her little underpants, and the other one is in a t-shirt and her underpants, no shoes or anything, and they're picking up the poles for their trampoline in this lightning storm. And I called their house right away to tell their mother that they were outside, but there was no answer. So I got in the car, and I went over, and I said, "What are you doing out here? Get in the house now." And the little one, she's going to retrieve all the pieces of her trampoline. She's just going to, take care of it. And the older one's ready to go in the house. And I'm like, "Get in the house now. You could be hurt out here." And she's like, "No, we take care of our trampoline." And I said, "Go in the house. I'll pick up the pieces." So I was picking up the poles, and I thought, this is how it's going to end. People will say, "Well, we knew she didn't have a lot of common sense, but geez." But I put as many of the poles as I could on the side of their house, and I came back home, and all of a sudden it started thundering. We had a hailstorm. We had hailstorms about this big, and within about 5 minutes, we had 1.5 feet of hail on the patio. And I look outside, and there are those two little girls out there again. And I thought, oh my God, they're going to get killed, And without even thinking, I just screamed, "I command you to stop this storm now." And it stopped. And I was just, do. This is just a coincidence. It's going to start up again in just a minute. And it didn't. And then I said, "I humbly thank you for stopping the storm." And I'm thinking, oh my God, who am I to command the hand of God? And Spirit said, "You are the hand of God. Who are you not to command my hand?" We all are the hand of God. We can perform miracles if we just believed, if we just trusted, if we just got out of our own way, and if we just opened up and let God work in our lives, if we just listened, if we made time to listen and to talk to Spirit. Spirit has told me repeatedly, "I have not because I ask not." We have a whole entourage of angels, archangels, spirit guides, all there. Their main purpose, their only purpose, is to give us the desires of our heart, is to help us live fulfilling, prosperous, healthy, and happy lives. Ask. We're too busy running around and reading books and trying to better ourselves and just do all the important things that we think are important. We have the most powerful ally in the universe, and we're not making use of it. Spirit wants to help you, but we need to ask. Just like, it's funny because I was a therapist and now I'm a psychic, but it's the same thing. It's just listening to your own inner guidance. You don't have to go to school for 7 or 8 years, to become a therapist. You don't have to spend a small fortune. I'm not going to tell you how much because my husband's sitting in the audience to take psychic development classes and graduate from school after 2 years. You've got it all within you. And the only reason I took these classes is to build my confidence. I just didn't think I could do it. I didn't trust. And I learned that the owner of the school, it was the Aspen School for Psychic Development, said, "I've never told anyone this before. I've never told a student this, that anyone's better than me, but you're better than me. And you just know things. And I really think that you should become a reader, and you should go read for the American Association for Psychics." I've tried to be on there, and she wouldn't take me. She only takes 1 out of every 100 people. And but you've got a chance. And I thought, oh my God, what chance do I have if she didn't take care? And then Spirit, you hear people talking about Spirit is testing you. And Spirit is just trying to see if you can listen to him and do his will. Spirit doesn't test you. Spirit never tests you. What you are being given is a tremendous opportunity for personal growth and empowerment. When you think that an obstacle is insurmountable, when you're terrified to do something and you do it anyway, and you succeed, your confidence not only in yourself but in Spirit soars. And you realize the amazing creation that you are. You realize what you've been given and what you can do. And it changes the course of your life, honestly. I've always been fear-based my entire life. I'm scared of everything. I'm scared of driving. Heck, I'm even scared to parallel park. When Spirit told me to write the book, I was like, who would want to read anything I have to say? And Spirit said, Nancy, your life's experiences could help many people who have gone through similar situations, and they think they're all alone in the world. Do you want to be selfish and keep your experiences to yourself? So really, when you don't share your gifts with the world, you're really being quite selfish. Tons of people are artists. People can paint. But what if you were that one artist that painted that one picture that touched someone's soul, and you never realized your potential, and you never shared that gift with that one person that needed what you have to offer? Millions of people write books, but Spirit told me that it was my flavor, my personality that would sell the book, because people that are drawn to me would want to read the book, and they would be touched. So we all have so much to offer. I was born and raised in the Roman Catholic Church, and I was totally turned off with churches. I just was never going to go to another church in my whole life. And then my ex-husband and I were elders in a Pentecostal speaking in tongues, dancing in spirit church. And when we moved to the Spirit moved me to the island. I never heard of Whidbey Island before we moved. And I wrote the book, and a friend whom I was going to see as a massage therapist invited me to Whidbey Island, and she'd have a book signing. The bells went off in my head. All I could think of was book signing. Someone's going to have a book signing for me. Yay, I'm there. I never even heard the word island. I am terrified of water. I almost drowned as a little kid, and I still remember trying to breathe, and the water's coming up your lungs, and I never wanted to be near. I love to put my toes in the water, but not be in it or on it or over it. And so I asked Phil, and he said, sure, we've got the time off. I've never been to Whidbey Island. He's really, really well-traveled. I'm not. And he said, I hear it's a beautiful place. So we got tickets. 3 days before we were ready to move, Michelle called and said, I'm really sorry, Nancy, I can't have a book signing for you. She said, Matt's getting transferred, and we've got to put our house in Parker up for sale, and we're going to be moving to Whidbey permanently. But I love your energy. Just come and get the keys and stay at the house. Well, first I didn't know her that well. I didn't feel comfortable. And Phil said, men are always thinking about the practical aspects. Our tickets are not refundable. So we went to the island, and when Phil was driving to the ferry, I almost had a panic attack. I was like, no, I don't want to get on a boat, honey. Let's drive. I'm not getting on a boat. And Phil said, it's the only way to the island. It's an island. There's another way, but I didn't know about it at the time. Equally as harrowing. And so I said, I'm not getting on the boat. And he said, well, I guess we could stay in Seattle, but it's tourist season. I don't even know if we could find a place. We don't have reservations anyplace. So we got on the boat, and my fingernail marks are still in that rental car. I was terrified. And we got on the island, and I was really upset with Spirit. Phil was talking about how beautiful it was. I kind of noticed it was really green. All I could keep thinking about that entire week was I was going to have to get back on that darn boat to get home. And I was miserable. My whole week's vacation was ruined because I ruined it. I just didn't have the faith or think that maybe Spirit had a better plan for me. So we got home, and I was very self-righteous, and I wrote an automatic writing to Spirit, and I said, why did you have Michelle invite me to go to this island? You're Almighty God. You know everything. You knew she wasn't going to have a book signing for me, and that's the only reason that I went to this island. And Spirit wrote back and said, because you're going to be moving to Whidbey Island. And I thought, bet me. And I told Phil, and we had a great little laugh about it. And so but I kept thinking about the island, and I even was having dreams about swimming underwater, and I could breathe underwater. So I did another writing, and I said, I don't know how I could have been so wrong. I thought you said you wanted me to move to Whidbey Island. And Spirit said, you weren't wrong, Nancy. Nancy, you still need to learn to trust and to let go, and you'll flourish on the island. I want you to be there by the end of the summer. And it was already the end of June when we'd been there. So I told Phil, and he said, oh my God, we can't leave all this. And we're happy here. We've got a ranch. Our animals love it. We had acreage. And I said, and I can't believe I said these words because I'm fear-based. I don't know what I would have done if Phil would have refused to come. But I said, well, I've learned to listen to God and not to man, and I'm going whether you go or not. And he said, really? You would leave without me? And I said, yep, I would. And at that moment, I would have. So we got everything ready, and we came, and we were all packed and ready to go. And we put all of our furniture in these 2 big trucks, and then Phil rented an RV so we could bring our dog. I have a Doberman and 4 cats that are our family. And I was feeling pretty good about myself. I listened to Spirit. I'm moving to the island. I mean, and all my friends were like, oh my God, you really do hear from Spirit. You really do follow what Spirit tells you to do. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm pretty spiritual. Well, so we're driving, and I'm in the RV with Phil and our kids, and my grandson is driving my Jeep. And we were 2 days out. We had to be here by the 3rd day. And my grandson called and said, Grandma, I'm really tired. Can you please come and drive your car and let me take a nap in the RV? So I said, sure. So we pulled over. I got in the car, and told Phil, I said, don't leave without me. I don't know directions, and let me put my glasses on and adjust the windows, the mirrors, and put my seatbelt on. Please don't leave without me. I have to follow you and make sure I'm behind you the whole way. Phil said, okay, and he took off. So I thought, well, I guess I could sit here. He'll come back and get me. And I thought, no, knowing Phil, he won't even know I'm not behind him. So I tried to call him on my phone, no cell coverage. I tried to plug in our address. The Garmin wasn't working. It was set up for Colorado. So I got out on the highway. I think I literally shut my eyes because I was so afraid I was going to get in a wreck. And I pulled out on the highway, and cars were swishing by me, and I was just like, oh my God, I've got to catch him. I've got to catch him. And I'm driving down the highway like a crazy woman, and he wasn't there. And I couldn't see him, and all these cars are flying by me, and I'm going 75 miles an hour, and they're still passing me. I was really scared. And then it started getting dark, and I have trouble seeing at night. I have night blindness. I was thinking, oh God, something's got to happen here. I just can't be driving at night. I can't see. And then it started raining. No, it was a torrential downpour. The wipers on my car were going as fast as they could, and I still couldn't see out of them. And then we came to curves, and I couldn't see, and it's raining, and I could feel cars coming by me. I imagined I was on a cliff, and I was going to fall down, crash to the bottom. And then we came to a construction zone, and they have all these cones and everything, and they had these flashing red lights, which further blinded me. And I was like, I'm moving to your damn island. Why are you doing this to me? And no answer. I didn't hear a word from Spirit the whole time. It was just quiet. And I was so scared. I have never been so scared in my whole life. And then Phil pulled up behind me and he said, "What are you doing?" He said, "You passed us like we were standing still." And I was like, "I have to go to the bathroom and I'm out of gas." So I followed him to the nearest gas station, and Braxton started driving again, and I got in the car. I was furious with Phil for driving off with me. Don't you listen? I asked you to please wait for me. I was furious with my poor grandson for getting tired and having to take a nap. I was furious with me for being such a wimp and being scared to do everything. And I was really furious with Spirit. I felt betrayed and let down. That night, Phil and Braxton stayed in a hotel, and I stayed in the RV with my animals, the only ones that loved me and were there for me. And the next morning when I woke up, Spirit said, "Nancy, look what you just did." And I'm not sure I'm ready to talk to him yet. And he said, "You just drove through Seattle under the most adverse conditions possible, and you made it. Think what you could do on a bright, sunshiny day." And while it doesn't seem like an opportunity for growth and personal empowerment at the time, just trust. It is. Spirit knows you can do it. You don't know. Spirit's trying to show you what you have in you, trying to make you just reach your potential that we all have. Spirit wants you to be the best you that you can be, but we won't let him or her help us because we're too stubborn. We have all the answers. We know exactly what we need to do in our lives. We don't. We don't see the big picture. You know, say you want to be an opera star or a singer, and you want to sing in front of crowds, but it's impossible. You don't have the money. You don't know. You don't have an orchestra at your disposal. You can't afford a building. Spirit can do all of that and more for you. Can provide the building in the best location, can get you the extras, can get you an orchestra and the orchestra lead, the conductor, can get the costume designers, the best costume designers ever, and can set everything up so that you can walk out on that stage and shine. And Spirit wants to do that for each and every one of you. Please remember, to thine own self, always be true. Remember that you are a miracle. You have been given everything. Take these gifts that you've been given to and use them. Albert Einstein said that if we only realized 1/10 of our potential, we would astound ourselves. You can perform miracles. You can do anything you need to do. Just do it. And if Spirit has given you a desire in your heart, you've also been given everything you need to fulfill that desire. Trust and let go. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for allowing me to be here today.
Thank you, Nancy.